The Honorable Committee and all of the participants in this conference, today we are going to present our research entitled The Undergraduate Student Perception of Utilizing TikTok as Learning Media in EFL Classroom. There are two researchers in this research. The first one is Purandina and the second one, Gusti, Putu, Diah, Permata, Sari. EFL will be optimal if it is implemented with suitable learning media strategies and also techniques. Nowadays, the learning media can combine with this technology in order to improve the four essential English skills, namely speaking, listening, reading, and also writings. To do so, there are many developers try to design the learning application that's suitable with the teacher and also the student characteristics. Young 2020 in Pratiwi, Euphoria, and Sophia 2021 explain there are four functions of learning application includes the entertainment, socialization, informativeness, and academic. Especially in academics, the learning application that combined with the social media is very famous around the world. One of them, namely TikTok applications. TikTok application allow the users to design, sharing, and comment the video around 15 until 16 seconds. This application was introduced by Douyin in 2017, and this is categorized as a short video platform. Their category of TikTok users includes the content creator, content browser, and the last is learner creator. When the user uses this application, there are some features like animation, filter, and also the sound effect. In addition, TikTok have a positive effect for the students. Namely, the first one is the bridging the communication skills of the EFL students. The second one is increase the student motivations during learning process. The third one enters the literature review related to the education and technology. And the last one is to provide an exciting learning experience for the children. In this research, the researcher focused on the students' perceptions and also the motivations after the students already use this application. So there are three research problems in this research. The first one is the how the student perception of utilizing TikTok in the AFL classroom. The second one is the how is the student motivations to learn English through TikTok. And the last one is what is the correlation between perception and the student motivation to learn English through TikTok at Putu Singaraja State College of Hindu. Okay, that's all about my explanation. For further information and also explanation will be continued by my friend. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's time. I would like to continue my plan presentation. Before my part is discussing about the methodology and also the finding and discussion of this research. Okay, we start from the variable used here because we got the depend on the what's that the goal, the purpose of the study. That's we have a two variable here that should be get the data here, the perception and also the motivation as a variable x and perception as variable x and motivation variable y. And then the sample used here is a 64 student in a general English class in several departments who had experience utilizing TikTok as learning media. Yes, of course, here we use saturated sample technique. And also here, the instrument used to get the data is a close-ended questionnaire by using Google Form that there are several 10 statements used to get the perception data and also the 10 statement for motivation data. And also here, we use a linker scale option in order to get the choices, the perception, and also the the motivation of the student. We use a full option here, like we use linked scale option. Strongly, the first one is strongly agree, second one is agree, the third is disagree, and the fourth is strongly disagree. And then the data collected will be examined with the processes. We will proceed in the SPSS 21st, and then become show as a descriptive statistic here. And here, to predict, to interpret the data, we use a data interval, the interval score here that can be we get from the median data because the data is very heterogeneous. So we use interval here. 1 until 1.75 is can be interpreted as a poor, and 1.76 until 2.5 is fair. 2.6 until 3.25 is good. 3.26 is a poor. Until 4 is very good. Okay. And then here, yeah, okay. After that, that is for what's that? For answer the first question of this research. Okay, as we can categorize here poor, fair, good, and very good of the student perception and about the utilizing TikTok and their learning, and also the learning motivation when they utilizing TikTok here. Okay, and then this for the what's that? And then the question number one and number two, I think. And then the question number three, we use a correlation regarding to to get the correlation of the perception and motivation. Is there any correlation between the two variable? Okay, we use the product moment person correlation analysis technique. Okay, but before we do that, we do normality test first by using Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, where the value should be more than 0.05. And then second one, we also should do linearity test by using F test when where the what's that the standard deviation should be more than 0.05. Okay, that is that's way to answer this question number three by using correlation perception product moment person in order to get the correlation between perception and motivation. But before that, we should use normality test first, and the second one is linearity test. After that, we can do the product moment correlation analysis techniques. Okay, okay, this is the finding. We have here, you can see that the 10 statement of the undergraduate EFL student percentage of utilizing TikTok. For example, the lecturer explained English matter well through TikTok. Okay, here we can see that the interpretation is very good. The second statement until the 10th statement, we can what's that? You can see that the interpretation is very good. That means that the student is very the perception of student is very positive of when they learn English as foreign language by utilizing TikTok. And then here, the second one is the EFL student learning motivation of utilizing TikTok. You know, in here also there are also 10 statements that all of the statement are very can be interpreted as a very good, that the student has a positive as a high motivation, but when they learn English as foreign language by utilizing TikTok. Okay, then we can check here the correlation between EFL student perception and learning motivation on utilizing TikTok. Okay, here the first one we have used the normality test. The normality test here using SPSS, we can be helped by SPSS, and also by using what's that, Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. Yeah, and then here the result is 0.060. Two variables that here can be show that the space is significant because more than 0.05. Thus, it can be concluded that the data distribution of each variable is normally distributed. So it's very normal data here. And also we check about the linearity test by using SPSS2, by using app test that show that the deviation from the linearity standard deviation value here is was 0.087. That is more than 0.05. That's the relationship between the dependent and dependent variables. Then was that very linear. And then after that, we can check about the correlation between the student perception and learning motivation on utilizing TikTok here. From the data here, we know that the relationship between perception and learning motivation is 0.623. That is bigger than or more than 0.242. It can be concluded that there is a relationship or a correlation between the perception variable X and learning motivation Y, because arithmetic or Pearson correlation in this analysis is positive. The relation between the two variables is positive. Or the other word, the higher the student perception, the higher the student learning motivation too. Okay, that's the result of the correlation. So there is a correlation between the student perception and learning motivation on utilizing TikTok and undergraduating student. While the conclusion here, we can answer the one and two and the three question here. The first one is the result show most EFL students had a very good perception of organized TikTok. We can know that from the data before that the interpretation of the data by the statement, the student showed that have was that very good interpretation. So the perception is very positive. And then the second one that indicated that and it indicates that TikTok is an appropriate e-learning media that can be used in English online classroom and can increase the student motivation, of course, because we can know that also from the data, the student motivation is very positive because the data interpretation is very good. And also the correlation between student perception and motivation is there. Of course, there is a correlation because the student perception of learning is very good. The higher the student motivation, of course. Okay, when the student perception is high, the student learning motivation also is high too. Okay, thank you. Well, that's all about our presentation. Thank you.